Hello, guys. I have decided to make a video of very basics of Sins of Solar Empire, not like what sort of ships you should build or anything like that. No tips and tricks in this sense, but how to generally get into the game in sense of understanding what's buttons do what are the general relationships within the game, like basically how to play it. um I'm not a pro player myself. I did get some nice achievements recently, etc., but there are way more better players than me. And if you're experienced, this tutorial is not for you. This is like for new players, basically. Why am I doing this? Is I think my perspective is unique in that I still have in my head what sort of things gave me trouble understanding into the game, getting into it. So I want to help players maybe to get inside into the game as well. So that's the motivation of this video. Okay, let's start. As you probably know, there are three factions within the game. Actually, I'll lower the volume even more. Okay. There are three factions. You choose whichever you like. They do have their unique strengths, and I would say also weaknesses coming with it. I don't want to get too much into it. Tech is it has trade, so it has adaptable extra sources of income of the main three resources, so it can choose to get quote unquote free credit or free metal or free crystal. This is very useful, especially if you have a shortage of something. You just swap it, the traders to it, and you get those resources. Advent, those are psionics. They they have stuff built around, like, let's say, persuading the enemy or maybe resurrecting depending on the faction, etc. So it's psionics basically. In Vasari, they are, I would say, they are about space domination. Their special ability is resonance, which gives you boosts after you jump into a system. So there is a certain rate style, play style, um, a sort of hard coded in it. So if you want to maximize this, you may consider like jumping into the system while this waiting while the system bonuses are up and then jumping back, or like this, it's about surprise, mobility, alpha strike, and this kind of stuff. So I think that's enough for now. I just wanted to make a point that the differences are quite big. In a way, they are not like completely different. Special thing is the Vasari. They usually don't get credit income. As you can see, I got the money from killing and not from getting. Metal. This is mostly for building ships and like physical stuff. And this you can see as a special resource for quite a lot of, also into the research, but like more special things, I would say. Your primary one, at least for Vasari, is this one. Like Advent, they need more crystal, and Tech is, I would say, best at credit income. It doesn't matter. Basically, you have three uh, resources. Um, the important thing is how you build an economy. So I just zoom to my planet. So here you build slots that improve your planet. You need to probably go into the text. I don't want to go too much into it. I will just explain why I have these as well. This was the starting one. This gives me more mining of the metal, and that's since I was like playing sort of rush game. I didn't want to. Well, I wanted to have as much metal as possible as soon as possible. So this is how I got quite a lot of extra metal, and this one is tied to the culture mechanics. Basically, if you have played like games such like 4X games mostly, like where you have borders and stuff like that usually, and you have culture. So this is a shout out to that. Where you can see it is here. This button here, button icon. You can mouse over it, and here you can see the cultural influence, the dominant culture, and another quite important, allegiance. The difference is culture is sort of like who owns, like no, this is bad wording, who has most influence over the planet, because you can own the planet, but it can have a different culture influence. So they are not the same thing. They are not like borders in this sense. They are like, it's like sympathizing or something like that. So if you have a culture, you usually get some sort of bonuses. You can get even better the bonuses if you research them. So getting culture is something I, especially in the beginning, didn't pay too much attention to. It's probably, it's not a way to win the game, but it's a great tool to make yourself stronger and to hamper the enemy. So I wouldn't overinvest. Different stories Advent, where they do have special things, like really special things based on the culture, so they're the heaviest one on the culture use, but every other faction can benefit from it. For example, once again, I didn't want to go too much into it, but yeah, this is an example. Xeno mining. If that planet is friendly and it has dominant culture, it gets like plus 36% to extraction both of metals and crystals. So this is like really super great. You can see it probably. You know, like it's like plus plus almost 40% to the yield. So that's like, it's really good. Don't overdo it, and do at least some basics. The opposing is true as well. If you can get your culture over the enemy world, you can harm them, like slowing their production or making their items more expensive and stuff like that. Okay, I think this is, yeah, this is basically enough. I just want to say, yeah, why I did this is, oh yeah, the allegiance. Allegiance is you could call it maybe like loyalty or fanaticism. You know, like you can have a culture which is like sort of neutral, like okay, you have the bonuses and stuff, but the allegiance is sort of a multiplier to what your planets are producing. So if I have 24.1, generally speaking, I can say like I have 25% more production because of the allegiance on the planet. And this was kind of hard to understand for me, but basically all you need is a building, or either in space or on the planet, that increases also the aligned allegiance. Also, once again, I think there is going to be, yeah, you see here. So this is the basic thing that gives you the culture. This is increasing also the allegiance. Also this one, and you have other means as well. So you can get basically free bonuses, like free, well, it's not free of course, but all you need is one space building, which is this one, Xeno Relations Center, which is kind of badly, really, the tooltip doesn't say what it actually does perfectly, whatever. For one building and a few techs, you are getting like insane, like really huge bonuses. Like, I mean, you are getting basically 24, and if I had the other, what was that, 12% difference, right? So that would be 36%. So imagine passing on 36% of your production. So that's why I have this one. I was maxing out my production and I went culture. So this is the reason. I probably spent too much time on this, but this was kind of hidden for me for a long time. I didn't really understand the consequences and how it exactly works. So basic culture, good. Okay, let's move on to next topics. Okay, this is just an overview. This is another sort of overview. This is like breakdown of the productions. This is where you build stuff around your planet. So I will just go extractors. They give you more metal, more crystal. Then you have generally like buildings for like factories for smaller ships and for capital ships. Then you have research, civil and military research. Then you have the culture, as I said. Exotic refinery, this, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but it's for producing the exotics. Labor distribution, this is like specialized. This is not for the same factions. This is specialized and this is specialized. So then you have a bunch of specialized buildings, which are different from faction to faction. Military, you generally have very similar categories. You have like a turret against small craft, turret against bigger ships. You have, I'm not sure, but I think everybody has regeneration. This is no specialized, so other factions have something else, and then each faction has a big star base, like a really big one, like monster star base. Okay. I would go into the ships probably last here. Yeah, this button, it gives you a chance to get exotics. Once again, tie-in will be later on for the exotics. Here you increase the number of the things you can build on the planet, like not on the planet like here, but in the space around the planet. I think I probably have everything maxed at this point. Yeah. Okay, so basically you start with like, I don't know, 5 or something like that, and each tier gives you more. So next tier will give you extra 3 or something like that. And this one is for defense. It increases the health of your planet, so it takes longer to conquer. Plus, it gives you more of this capacity. This is all about defense. So if you have a frontier planet, you really want this. But depending on the game length and difficulty and so on, it could be a good idea to have this on other planets, at least to a certain degree. Commerce, this is money related. Vasari don't have it, but it's the same thing. Like, you click it and your money will increase for income from the planet. You have mining, and this is this is quite confusing in game, but you have 2 types of mining. You have on surface mining and in space mining. On surface mining is the planet itself, and it's completely dictated by the type of the planet. So if I have a ferrous planet, it will have only metal income, I believe. I don't know where the crystal comes from the satellites, from the extractors. But you can see here, this is 3 metal per 100 population. So my population is 250 times 3, right? So it should be, let me see. Yeah, 7.6. You can see it in metal income here. I pressed Alt, by the way, to get the details, right? Oh, by the way, you can see the 24% pop growth rate. I think it's part of the allegiance as well, but whatever. Now, so if you want more crystal, you either have to find a planet that gives you crystal, or you need to have extractors. You see, like in my home planet, I don't have any extractor here, and I don't believe I don't actually know where the 2.4. It's some sort of base income. It's not related to the pop or to the. Wait, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. Anyways, the crystal income 1.5, so it means we have, yeah, crystal extractor here, and you can see there is some also surface mining and also some crystal mining. So just keep in mind there are 2 kinds, because this is important for the tax. What you basically want to do in the beginning is max out this, or no, also this, of course, if you are playing it, and build the extractors as soon as possible. So if you don't have a space here, build more logistics, get more extractors, increase these tiers. They can be increased via tax and stuff. So this is how you increase your economy. So this button leads to these. This button is these are basically the basic economics, and then you can slap on the culture, which is a multiplier basically to everything, and then you have the buildings, right, which give you more multipliers. So that's how you do your economy basically, right? If you have tech, you will have income from trade ports, but that's something extra. You know, it's not related, and it's, I believe, fixed, sort of fixed. The last button gives you faster research and apparently a little bit more health, but the main point here is the research. This is nothing, it's just controls. Okay, so this is basically what you can do on the planet. Maybe I'll just show you once more what kind of buildings you can have. Like the economy, they boost the economy, apparently and obviously, and defense, more defenses, supports, they vary, but usually I think everybody has it. You have like 3 research points which allow you to increase the tier of the technologies. Then you have different kind of stuff. All right, so this was the planets. Now I would go I would go into the ships a little bit. So I was like really confused when I played the game for the first time. Like, what the hell is, there are so many ships, what the fuck is going on? Now, the general division is corvettes are for like really small ships, so we are talking generally point defenses against fighters, missiles, and scout. There's a scout and a specialized vessel. But these are for small stuff. These guys, they either counter this or this. Usually, you usually have like a PD guy who also eats corvettes, and then you have somebody who usually can punch to cruisers. And cruisers, they have like all sort of special roles, and once you understand it, they are basically the same in every faction, with the different characteristics and stuff, but the general function is the same. Then you have capital ships, which are more expensive. They cost exotics. I think yeah. Let's talk about exotics a little bit here. I think this is probably the best way, because the best place, because you used exotics in 2 cases basically. 3, okay. For capital ships, and this is the most common use. That's why I'm saying it here. And then you have like special tags, that high tier tags. You see here, Warfare 4 final price. You see that red diamond there. That means that I need 1 Tauranite for researching this. And there are like a lot of other tags, that's high tier tags, that need this. But the main use in the early game is for building capital ships. Let me see. For some reason it's not showing me now. I don't know why. Usually it does show. Huh. I think I know what happened there. This is a pity. I will load the game later to show you, but you need several of these, like usually a combo of 2 and 1, like 2 Tauranite and 1 Endurium or whatever, to build a capital ship. And on top of that, you need a lot of metals and crystals and possibly credits, so depending on the faction. For Vasari, it's roughly, I think, 2,000 and 2,000 of each for a capital ship. So these are big bad boys, right? Command is kind of new ship. It's a bridge between capital and a Titan. I believe currently you have a limit of 3 if you upgrade it. And Titan, as far as I can remember, is only 1 always. And this is the biggest ship, the strongest ship, and the most expensive one, of course. But this comes into the game like way late. Like not too late, but way later. So okay, so I would like to go quickly over what the ships do, so that you will understand the what you can expect and what to do with them. I will go over the Vasari ships, but I will also make reference to other factions, because they basically have the same setup with a few minor differences. So this is a scout. There is always going to be a scout for each faction in corvettes. Then you have PD ship. So this is very good for fighters, missiles, and this kind of stuff. And this is a specialized ship. For Vasari, this one is a raider, so it means what it means is he gets a huge bonus on structures. Yeah, you see, like if you look at the DPS, it's 5 and 2.8. And the structure damage gets plus 30 and 600 pierce, but we haven't talked about that yet. But you see, the plus 30 is like staggeringly high compared to this. So this is very specialized in attacking the enemy structures. And on top of that, it has it takes away a portion of the resources that the structure cost. So you can imagine it like they are stealing parts of the station or whatever. And every faction has a different one. They don't have the Raider, obviously, but for example, the Wrath, they have a ship that gives you entire matter, and this is very important for the faction mechanics because it allows you to have really high antimatter usage. You are not bound to what the ship can produce, the capital ship or other ships, but you can get like way more with Advent. So that's like it's a very specialized ship, but at the same time it's very important. Okay, let's move on to frigates. A skirmisher. This is I should probably explain the damage because I think it would be needed for proper explanation. Ships have the formula is basically the damage formula is 100 divided by 100 plus the difference between pierce and durability. So what you optimally want to do is to have pierce at least as high as the durability of the ship you are shooting on. Otherwise, you will do way less damage to the ship. So let's see here. This ship has 180 durability and 270 pierce. So the pierce is higher than the durability. So in you would do full damage on the ship itself. Armor is it has special rules. I will talk about it a little in a second. But when it comes to going through the shields and through the hull, you want the pierce to be at least as high as durability. You don't want to overshoot probably too much. It doesn't do anything, but it means you have probably chosen like overkill ship for that purpose, and it's not effective. It's not bad, like nothing bad happens. It just you're probably wasting something. This guy, yeah, this is nicely visible here. This guy has 420 pierce. That's a lot, because like corvettes and these guys, they have like really, you see, like durability 0.60. They have like really low durability, so almost anything pierces them. Frigates, they have somewhat higher, but we are talking about like 100 to 200 basically durability. And cruisers, depending on how fortified or armored they are, armored is not a good word here, how durable they are. Like frontliner is going to have a lot of durability, right? So if you have oppressor, you see it has a 420 durability. And this one, oh, what a coincidence, right? So what this shows is this guy, this assailant, with his 420 pierce, matches the oppressor. And the oppressor is, you would probably, in other game it would be a tank, like frontline tank. So this guy is specialized to kill anybody up to him, up to his level. But so if you build these guys with 270 pierce, they would have quite hard time. Let me actually pull the math. It's 270 minus 420. It's 150. So the formula is 100 divided by 250 because there's plus 100. So that means 0.4. So that means that this guy is doing only 40% against of his damage against this guy. So yes, it does make it damage to him, but it's severely diminished. So this is how the specialization kind of works. So okay, I think this was enough about the peers. I don't want to confuse you too much. It's just if you have trouble killing bigger ships, look for higher pierce ships in your arsenal, and they will be the answer you need. Or if you are struggling on the opposite side, like you have a few ships, very powerful, but you get overwhelmed by numbers, it's probably because you are building specialized ships for capital ships, but you are getting your ass hooped by swarms of frigates or something. So this is how the counter is subtly working in the game, because you are paying a certain number of supply for each ship. So if they can both do the job on a lower tier ship, you don't want to use necessarily only the higher tier ships because they are more expensive, and it would be arguably certainly a debate to be had to have a smaller ship to do the job if it's good enough for it. Okay, I think once again I spent too much time here, but I want to make this like really clear, because this was I wouldn't say probably too confusing. It was harder to grasp the whole picture, like what's working, what's not working. So okay, so this is yeah, you see, in this tooltip you have effective against missile frigates. So let's see, you have this is the frigate, and this is the missile frigate, right? This guy, quotes unquote, eats the oppressor because of his pierce is optimized for his durability. So what you would, if you had the same faction, what you would build is not more oppressors, because it doesn't really make sense, right? But you would build instead skirmishers, which have 270 pierce, which is enough for the durability. It is an overkill, yes, but it doesn't matter. But it's enough. And these guys will deal with these guys quite nicely. Or you could go the other route, Varden. It has point defense, but the ultralight phase missile would have trouble piercing his durability. So this one would probably win against, most likely against the assailant, but it would be a slow process. So this one kind of works, but it's not optimized. You know, like he shuts it down. Yes, that's good. That's really great, but it doesn't kill it that well. So if you want to kill it, you need these guys, but it doesn't have the PD. So basically, what you would do if you wanted to counter a big stack of assailants is you would combine these two. You would combine skirmishers to kill them, and you would combine wardens to kill the PD. Or even better, you have defensors, which are PD as well. So one of these, I would even argue that defensors would do probably a better job, because you just want them for PD. This one costs 6 supply, this one 4. This has even better pierce on light gun, and this is not gonna do a lot of damage. So I would argue that these two are probably the best counter here against this guy. Okay, so that was a lot. I wanted to show you how these small counters work, right? Now, so you have this guy who punches onto the enemy big boys. You have this guy who takes care of the frigates, and this is sort of a PD and against this one. You see, this one doesn't have PD, so he is vulnerable against smaller. This one is really good against really small craft, I would say, because it has 0 pierce. So you see, 0 durability, 0 durability. So these two guys are perfect target for this one because he doesn't have any pierce. He can track the missiles, so he wouldn't be good against the fencer because he would shoot down his missiles. But he would do something. The PDs are not. So he's bad against the fencer, but he's, I would say, probably good against the raider. But yeah, this is not. Let's not go too deep into this. Anyways, let's go to cruisers. And why I'm explaining this is I'm trying to impress upon you how to figure this out yourself. You see, like you want to, you either have a problem with a ship and you look at it and you see, okay, it has this durability and you need to work around it. So you find the cheapest option that has enough pierce to do the job and the type of the damage. I mean, like missiles versus direct fire. Okay, let's talk about armor, which is a special case because armor is applied if you are shooting to the armor section of the ship. Let's say this guy has armor points and armor strength. So if you look at the ship, yeah, the blue is antimatter, the yellow is the shield, the gray is the armor, what we are talking about, and the green is hull. So let's see here. So you would need, let's see, you would need for to pierce this capital ship. It has durability 500, so you would need a weapon of 500 durability to inflict full damage onto his shields. So you have a weapon 500 and you hit his shields with 500 durability or pierce. And then you get to the armor. And the problem with armor is it cannot be pierced. So it has 84 armor strength. So even if you had like, if you matched your pierce to his durability, the armor, that's another check on top of it. Another calculation, a multiplier, you would say. And this formula is the same, but it would be 100 plus 100 divided by 100 and what was the armor? Let me see once again. Armor 84, 184, 54. So if you are shooting at this guy, no matter the pierce, you are only doing 54% of the damage to him while you are shooting his armor. Okay? And every faction has a different ratio of shields, armor, and of course hull. So, for example, techs are really good at armor, and they have the highest armor. And then you have Vasari, which I think have the best shield regen, the natural one. And then you have Advent, which I believe is more into armor than Vasari. I'm not sure on this point though. But they have other mechanics to recharge their armor. They have like specialized ships for that and etc. But the important thing is here the armor is using a different mechanics, and it always provides you with some protection. I would even say, you see, everybody has armor. So even this guy with 48 armor is getting damage reduction while it's being shot in its armor. So while you whittle down the shield 720 with matching pierce, that's 100% damage to him. And then if you are shooting, while you are shooting the armor points down, you are still doing less damage. Okay, let's see this one particular. It was 48, right? So 100 divided by 148. You are doing only 67% of damage even to this small guy, because while you are shooting down his armor. So armor is a really is a layer that really slows down the damage he takes. But I believe the armor can only be regenerated outside combat, so that's the downside. Maybe with the exception of Vasari, I think. Whatever. Just think about the armor, like really tough. Doesn't regenerate during the combat, but it's like really good. Okay, another too long explanation, but we have understood, hopefully, how the basic counters work through pierce and durability, and the armor is a slowdown layer, you would say. Okay, then we have Migrator. I think every faction has a colonizer. This will actually break down into a much more understandable thing once you understand what each class does. So this is a colonizer. This one, look at that. Oh, another thing that's quite important here. He has 4 heavy wave cannons, right? And DPS is listed as 9.5. But that DPS is for each weapon. So the actual DPS is 4 times higher because it's 4 weapons, right? So the DPS of this guy is almost 40 against 300 pierce. So that's quite important to understand. If you compare it to, let's compare it to, yeah, to this guy. Let's see the capital ship, right? So this guy has a lot of medium wave cannons. So it has like shitload of pierce, a shitload of DPS on lower tier ships, and then he has like 40 with beams. But this one is also upgraded, so it's not a starting capital ship. So the stats would be normally a little bit lower. So this guy has 6 times. So he has like 72, like let's call it 75, 200 pierce DPS, around 40, 500 pierce DPS, and then 2 pulse weapons. Okay, so this guy will have really hard time piercing the capital ship, so the capital ship will eat this guy alive. But this guy will be really great against guys who has pierce lower, who has durability 300 or lower. Okay, so this is basically a frontline tank. This is for building ships in the space, like small carrier. Some factions have like I think Wrath. I think Advent has it in frigates, but you always have a ship with as a carrier. Then you have this is for killing super high durability targets. I will. Okay, I will. I will get back to it right now. Right after this one, because where is it? $120. Okay, so this one is good enough for most, even capital ships. He's not doing full damage to the capital ships, but 420 is usually enough to make a dent in them. But this guy eats everything, because Pierce 1000 goes through everything. It goes through star bases, it goes through capital ships, it goes through everything. But you can see it costs also 1 Tauronite. So you can't really spam that much, at least not early. So if you build a bunch of these, they can they are the capital ship killers, they are the killers of the star bases. You will probably want this later on, especially if you are gonna get into the trouble with big starbase. That's really hard to kill. You can build a bunch of these and you will be fine. The problem with these particular guys is they are short range, so you need to go close to the enemy so they can shoot at you. Yeah. All right. Oh, basically, oh wait, the Tauronite price is probably for the tank, not for the ship itself. Sorry, I probably misread it. Anyways, it's an expensive ship, so you would need considerable resources for that. This one is for bombarding planets, so that's a specialized role. Then you have this is faction specific ship, I would say. This guy lowers the enemy DPS and gives you radar around, like you can see the incoming ships on lanes. Other factions have different kind of ships. For example, with Advent, a cruiser there replenishes your, I believe it's a cruiser, it replenishes your shields, for example, or it can take damage instead of another ship. And this is a factory, which is also specialized for this faction, and it's quite powerful in the ability to build ships right on the front, so you don't have to wait for the reinforcements. Only smaller ships, yes, but it's really good. Okay, the scout, you have the PD defense. The assailant is this one, so this is the against capital ships and cruisers. Raider is the specialized ships on enemy structures. Skirmisher is a small frigate. That's small frigate. It goes again other frigates basically. And Varden, which is a PD ship basically. Okay, so as I said, like smaller ships, right? And then you have capital ships. With capital ships, okay, let's go back to cruisers a little bit. I just want to explain that if you take away the specialized roles, you have two cruisers that are everywhere. Or three, whatever. Two. You always have a tank, and you always have a specialized one with high pierce. That's for capital ship killers, basically. So these two are the base. Then you have colonizer. Then you have some special ships for your faction. Then you have a carrier, a small carrier, and then you have a bombarder. So these three are sort of like, or at least these two. So once again, tank, capital ship killer, always colonizer, always bombarder, always carrier, but sometimes it's in a different tier. But this role is always presented, and two specialized ships. So there's much less confusion what to build, I think. Then capital ships, you have always one colonizer, I believe, that has the ability to colonize fast. The advantage of this ship is opportunity, because you can build it right away, like as the first ship usually. You even get it as a first ship for Vasari. And what it allows you to do is you don't have to have to research and get a colonizer, and you can immediately start going onto other systems, and you can get them first, which could be a really good advantage. It could jumpstart your economy. You can even upgrade this colonize ability. What it does is it immediately gives you free mining level. So that's another speed up, because you don't have to build it with resources and time on the planet. So you can go to, let's say, a meteorite asteroid section, and as soon as you conquer it, it will launch the probe to the probably colonization module there. And if you have it maxed, it would, even here, 2 extra mining levels. So even with the first upgrade, you would immediately have full mining. So it really can speed up your expansion early game. So that's kind of okay. And these other two abilities are not too bad. And this is specialized on taking away from the enemy. Whatever. The point of this ship is it can give you early start opportunity. It's not as strong in 1v1 as other ships, but the thing that's keeping it up is the opportunity there. Then you have frontline fighter, which is like call for attack, and I can't really remember the name of the advent, but it's also a frontline fighter. It has a lot of high pierce weapons. It can stay in battle. It has special abilities. I will probably load a save to show you different ones. Then you have a carrier always. And then you have some sort of support skills. Yeah, then there is a ship, that's semi-specialized in destroying planets and or structures with a high durability, such as star bases. It also usually works on, or sometimes, or works on other capital ships. And then you have some sort of support. Command ships, you can build only one. Big, strong, whatever. In this particular case, you can see there's a lot of PDs. It has some beams that have good enough pierce against capital ships, and you have 5 wave cannons, which is against for sure against frigates and against most cruise or some cruisers. Let's say. Because this guy, for example, it has 330, so the 300 pierce on here would be good enough against this guy, and it would eat him like alive. Okay, Titans are the iconic ships of this game. Of course, they are super strong. They get stronger with research and, of course, ship abilities. I wasn't talking about ship abilities yet. It's the same as with Planet. You can they have like different categories. Don't sleep on consumables, especially early on. They're super good. Like repair, AOE damage, even antimatter restore can be really super good. Like these two are, I would say, like universally great, especially in the start. At the start, this one is okay, but I wouldn't say it's as important. Yeah, you see, this even has a. Then you have some offensive, defensive, utilities, and Vasari. They have quite a lot of infrastructure because they are like a mobile space nation. Okay, I think I went through the ships in good enough detail. I will maybe load a different save after this one. I would just go through the rest of the UI, and I think we are quite far actually, almost at the end, I would say. The research is divided into tiers. Each tier gives you like progressively higher technologies, of course. What is important, you can see here, you need research points. So research points means you need to build these two guys for civilian and for warfare. This is fairly easy to understand concept. Okay, for some of these you need those special exotics, so those special materials, and these generally mean that the key means it unlocks a new item, be it on this is a new structure, this is planet item, and ship item. You will see, yeah, keys are unlocks to new stuff, and the other things are basically upgrades. Here I just see a little exception. This allows you to colonize new types of the world. So you start with the native one, and then you need these to get colonization. I don't want to get too much into this. This would be a long video if I went too much into this. It's just how you research, get a higher tier, that's it. Diplomacy, it's obvious. I'm not gonna go into it. It's interaction with other players. I'm sure you can figure it out. Minor factions, these are like neutrals, I would say. You can, yeah, and there's a tie into the points. You can see there are so-called influence points. And these influence points, I have 5 of them right now. You can use them for 2 purposes. The first purpose is to purchase a new tier of friendship with these guys, and then you are eligible to buy the item that's listed here. So okay, let's see. Okay, let's say I buy this one. It costs me 4 influence points. Okay, I can't buy another tier because I would need another 4 points. But if I click this, I could have spawned those units. So this is a faction that gives you access to, yeah, you can see it, to ships. So this is good for example, getting a free navy. It's not gonna be your faction, but it's free emergency fund, let's say, or maybe you want to put a pressure on them. These guys, they have a different flair. Every faction has a different flair. What you need to know is you use points for unlocking this, and then buying this lower stuff. But that's not the only purpose of these points. But because once in a while there is an auction, it's a pop-up. It looks like something like this, like pop-up, and it says there is a bid going on, for example, for metals, and whoever wins the bid, and you are bidding with these points, gets the reward. You can have an auction on metals, crystal, on exotics, on special items. So this is about balancing minor factions versus auctions. So it could be that you want to make sure that you get the next bid, which is a risk because you don't know what the next bid is. I think you don't know it. Then you would have to save the points for the auction. But if you like the abilities and you don't care about who gets the auction, who gets the materials, then you could go for minor factions. So this is a little sort of like mini game, I would say. Like, you have to decide where you want to place your points. You can increase the points by building buildings. You can increase them by technologies. You can speed up the generation rate by points, etc., etc. So this is a sort of a mini game. So either minor factions that gives you abilities that you purchase through it, or the auctions. Military command. This is how much supply you can use. You can see every ship takes a certain amount of supplies, and that's about it. What you need to know. The good thing is, if you click on it, here you have the style bases, but in ships you can upgrade. You can see whatever is upgraded, and you can very easily build the upgrade. So this is probably something you wouldn't do in the first game, but later on, when you learn the game a little bit, this is very useful. Okay, the same goes with the next one, planets. Overview. Once again, this is confusing, but okay, usable-ish. But I don't use this one that much. Defense is okay, but I'm using mostly the surface, where you can see the levels of mining. You can see the levels of commerce, research if you do that, surveying. So this is very useful when you need exotics, and then you want, like, okay, this is random chance and this is guaranteed. So there's another difference here, because level 1 is random chance and level 2 is guaranteed. Guaranteed Andvar +1 of those, I think. Alright. And here, once again, you can build really quickly. So you get a new tag, for example, lubricants, but this is a game tag and you don't have that many planets. But let's say you get a new tag, new planet item that you want, and you can just go here and, you know, like do. And you are freaking done in a few seconds. And every planet has it, and you're like, yeah, I did it. You know. So same, you would do the same with this ship. So, you know, like, bam, Bam, bam. And something here. I this is a save from a playthrough where I didn't research. Actually, I did research. Never mind. Okay, so resources, we have been through them. Credits, metals, crystals. Markets is buying, selling stuff. Sometimes in the auction you can get you can get an opportunity to like manipulate the market. So that means you have like special prices for a certain kind of resource. So you can manipulate crystal market, and then you have better prices and stuff like that. Okay, bounty. This is you can add a bounty on something you want them to attack. Basically piracy. And raids is active raids, I believe, like who is raiding whom. I believe the tag has way more. Yeah, it has special relationships with pirates, so they can work with them much better than other factions. Okay, so this was this. This is a special thing for tech. This is the trade we have talked about a little bit. For Advent, these are psionic abilities. And for Vasari, these are the bonuses when you jump in the system. Why, you might be wondering why I didn't build this. And that's because I was really rushing two things, basically. Production of the materials, mostly metal and crystal. Then I wanted a little bit of culture, as I said, to multiply it even further, these two guys. And I wanted the labs. So this is exactly what I'm... Oh yeah, this is the first planet, so this is for building ships. But then I have mostly in the research labs, yeah, the extractors, relations. If I were playing this like long term, I would place one phase resonator here instead of probably one of these labs. Okay, exotics, you can sell them actually. I didn't mention that. Yeah, you can sell them. But here you create them. You have to build a specialized, I think it's tier 2. Where are you? No. I believe it's tier 2 here somewhere. Exotic. Molecular. Yeah, this is one. Yeah, of course. So here is the exotic refinement. Every faction has it. So this is where you can build. This is a factory where you can manufacture these, right? So quadrinium is, quarnium is for really high tier stuff like titans, like the biggest starbase, etc. So you usually don't find quarnium naturally. These you can find on planets and usually win in auctions. This is much rarer. Okay. Time, you have probably seen, of course, speeding up, speeding down, everything. The thing here is the future orbits. You've probably seen it. The planets are rotating and the connections are dynamic. So if you look at it, some connections, yeah, maybe you have seen it. Like the connection here, watch it. You see how it's like changing? So this is a view into the future, and it's gonna tell you like what's gonna happen. So this has some strategic considerations because the system that's like now protecting you could be somewhere else, and there could be another way into your empire through a newly created lane. So that's a problem. All right. This is nothing, and this is just a menu. Okay, so I think I have been over all, except let's load. Let's load a new game. Yeah, I have some capital ships here, so I just wanted to show you the capital ships. Yeah, here you can finally see the exotics required, the cost. So you can see the core 2 Devastator costs 2 Taurenites, the red ones, and 1 gray. This is 1 blue, 2 yellow, 2 gray, 1 blue, 1 gray, 2 blue, 1 red, 1 yellow. 2 red, 1 yellow. So here you can see the costs. And yeah, the abilities. The abilities differ from ship to ship. So if I take this guy, this is the frontliner, and you can see here's some he has an ability to shoot faster. So his DPS is higher than a ulti would suggest. A tip here is you can see negative buffs and positive buffs on the ships. So okay, let's play it a little bit. No, he's going into no, I'm going into his. So let's see. Yeah, you see, and here's some buffs now. So this is how you can check buffs and debuffs. Here you have like really detailed stats on the ship, which is easy to overlook, but I think these two are quite important when you are trying to figure out the problem or stuff like that. Thing about here is carrier. Oh, other ships have fighters as well, but with carrier you can change the number of squadrons, like if you want more fighters or bombers. This is quite important when you, especially when you get a lot of them. Some ships have abilities that deploy, so this one can deploy siege platform. By the way, if you're doing the achievement for only capital ships building and you can't build anything, don't take this ability because it fucks up the achievement. You can't use it. It will count as if you have built a different kind of ship. So if you are not doing the achievement, this is of course a great ability. Okay, I think I went through everything. I hope I didn't forget anything. And that's it. I hope this helped you. See you. Bye bye.